You have to have toughness. You got to be tougher than everybody that we play. It's going to be difficult. Everybody here has got to have a lot of mental toughness.
Welcome everybody to another edition and another season of the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks. I'm Chris Stewart, alongside, of course, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach, always great to see you and great to be talking about fall camp as things are getting ready for the start of another year.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, it's challenging. We're looking forward to the season. I think that things have gone well in fall camp. I think our ones have progressed very nicely. In the last scrimmage, the ones, really did a good job. And the biggest, sort of challenge for us is can we get more guys on our team capable of completing a basic task on a consistent basis? And I think, it's a different issue with a lot of different guys. Some guys are young, they're working hard, they're trying, they're doing everything they can. They just don't know enough yet to get it right all the time. You got some guys who get frustrated that they don't get it right, so it affects the next play. So we have to work through all those things with the younger players, the more inexperienced players, to get them to have the maturity to be able to complete a basic task on a consistent basis and understand in football, it's a great team game. So 11 people have to do their job for you to have a successful play, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams.
A luxury for those young guys, Coach, though, is having some very good veteran players back. And you've said many times that when your best players are also your best leaders, you've got an awfully good opportunity at success, and you've certainly got that in some key spots.
Well, I think that's been very beneficial. I think the leadership on this team has been very, very good. Bryce does a really good job with the offensive players. He has done a nice job at his position. He's not changed a lick in terms of how he prepares, how he goes about what he does, how he practices, the attention to detail. Will Anderson's a great leader on defense. Henry does a good job, on defense. Jordan Battle has been a good leader on defense. So we've got a pretty good group from that standpoint. We've got a good blend of young and old. It's just getting the young to be able to be a little more consistent. They're getting a good example from the leaders, though, which is a real positive.
Coach, let's take a glimpse at what's been going on in these preseason highlights.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made, and by
feel between the lines, preseason camp, very, very important, but you deal an awful lot with the mental aspect for your players and development in so many different ways. And part of that is by bringing in different speakers to talk to your team.
Well, and I think the purpose of this goes a long way in personal development. You know, it's a goal of the program to help players be more successful in life because they were involved in the program. And, you know, to have successful people come in, and I think at the end of the day, most all of them, in a different way, say the same thing. You control the choices that you make. You're not born a winner, you're not born a loser, you're born a chooser. And so you choose the right things, you have a chance to be successful. If you don't choose the right things, you don't make the right commitments to things and see them through, you probably have a little less chance of being successful. So, but when you have great role models that have had tremendous amount of success, and the players can see why they've had success, I think that goes a long way in helping them develop the right habits so they can be successful.
I understand it's for the players, but I also am told that one of the reasons they pay such close attention is because there's a guy on the front row with a notebook and a pen in hand, and that's you each time as well.
I'm learning a lot.
Sure.
You know, psychological disposition is really, really important, and doing anything that you choose to do to be as good as you're capable of. And that's what we're striving for with all of our players, and that's what a lot of the folks that have been here to speak with our team, they've been able to do that. So I'm just as interested in understanding why they've been able to do it and how we can maybe help some of our players implement some of those things to help them do it as anyone in the room.
Sure. Well, here's a sample of what the players have enjoyed and learned from in preseason camp.
You know, I'm not big on talking about myself. It's not something I think is a good quality. If you're really that good, you let other people talk about you. So every day before practice, I would always come out early, and I would always catch 100 balls or so before practice into the sun, away from the sun, just trying to make catches as difficult as I possibly can. I wanted to make practice as difficult and as hard as I possibly could. So when I got on the field on Sunday, it was easy, it was routine. And I want you guys to take pride in what you put on the tape. You know, every day when I got back out of the practice field, when I got in the film room, I wanted to be proud when I walked. I didn't want to walk in there with my hood on, with my head down, because I didn't practice well. I didn't want to be that guy in the film room that had to come back with excuses why I didn't get the job done. And you guys don't have to. That's something that is within your control. Does anybody in here have control of what the weather's going to be like tomorrow? Does anybody have any control? Or what the traffic is going to be like? None of that is in our control. But what we can control is our dedication, our commitment, our work ethic, our punctuality. All those things are 100% in our control. So I challenge you guys, when things are getting tough, control what you can control. It's not about the talent. You guys are the most talented, most skilled, hardest working, best coached. So it comes down to execution. And execution is about the details. It's about executing the small tasks every single day. You don't ever want to look back and say, man, I wish I would have done this a little bit better. I wish I would have hustled a little bit more. You don't ever want to have those regrets. My parents always held me to a high standard. They always told me, Larry, you can do this and you can do that. And when you're a child, you don't always believe that you can do those things. But when you apply yourself, you can surprise yourself. And I challenge you guys to continue to believe that anything that you put your mind to is always attainable.
Well, I'm going to open up with a quote that's one of my favorite quotes, and it's, "Actions speak louder than words." That literally is what defines my career. I made my first Olympic team, 15 years old. I got 5th place. I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. They gave me a piece of paper that said, "Congratulations, you participated." That piece of paper motivated me for that whole next 4 years. I said, there is not a shot in hell this is ever going to happen again. My very first race, I did not medal. And then in 2012, I had one race I did medal. I can go back and look at those races because I want to make sure that feeling stays with me until the next time I have a chance to get out there and do the same thing again. From 2002 to 2008, guess how many days I took off? In those 6 years, guess how many days I took off? None. 0. Why? I wanted something that nobody else had the opportunity to get. I was willing to do more than anybody else on the planet was willing to do. I got the results. I wanted to do it because I wanted that chance. Nobody's going to give you that chance, right? You're going to have to earn that chance. That's all I wanted. I wanted to bust my ass every single day to earn that one chance. And wherever that took me, it took me. Every time I go into practice, my coach would say, jump, and I would say, how? Because I knew there were thousands of other kids, hundreds of thousands of other kids that were doing the same thing, and they were not going to take that opportunity away from me. Y'all have the greatest, one of the greatest, if not the greatest coach, leading y'all every single day. He's got the answers. But it's y'all that need to listen, or making sure you're doing everything away from the field, right? It's not just what happens here. I can't tell you that enough. It is not just what happens here. It's the whole entire picture. You get one chance, right? You get one chance to do something special. Don't waste it, please.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by and by
Coach, the Nick's Kids program is something that has had as much of an impact as anything else you and Miss Terry have done here. All the winning, all the success is obviously huge, but that impact is one that's going to be felt for a long, long time.
Well, and it's a legacy that we're proud of to extend because of my dad and what he tried to do for kids. And, you know, Miss Terry's done a phenomenal job. She's got a small staff of people who help her, who have all done outstanding work in helping people in the community have a better chance to be successful. And, you know, the day that we report for fall camp, you know, the players go over, the kids are running around. It's a great luncheon, a lot of self-gratification to see that maybe you're helping somebody have a better chance to be successful and have a better quality of life, and to recognize the people who dedicate themselves to helping the kids. And then, you know, Miss Terry came up with this 18.5 idea this year, which, because we won the SEC, beat Georgia, and then didn't win the national championship, she said we're going to build an 18.5 house. So it is a full house, but it only is for a real family. But it's only 18.5 in her books.
Well, still meaningful, still the full impact, and we're going to give you a chance to see more about Nick's Kids.
I'd like to welcome everyone here. It's always great to see all the folks who do so much to help the kids, and we're only appreciative that we have the opportunity, Terry and I, Katie, all the volunteers who really help create the opportunities that we can pass on to you to be able to give the kids a little better quality of life, give them a little better opportunity to be successful in life, which is, you know, really important to us.
You know, we support children, students, education, and teachers' causes, and that certainly goes along with the new Saban Center. Nick's Kids is donating $1 million. That's on top of our family private donation, and we hope it'll really do a great job of kicking off this project. project.
The Children's Learning Center that we've really sort of backed, and personally, with our contribution as well as Nick's kids, I think this would be something that would be fantastic for the community and certainly serve children from an educational standpoint all over our state and all over this area.
Nick's Kids presents a Lifetime Achievement Award annually. This year, this special award goes to Judy Holland.
I wish the Sabans and all our donors could see the relief in the eyes of the parents after we tell them that once they get back into their home, we're going to make sure their children have beds. They're going to have everything they need to start over. It's one burden that we can take away from them, one thing they don't need to worry about. Coach and Miss Terry, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to you and everyone that supports Nick's Kids Foundation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I want to give a special thanks to the people who help the children. I know you all don't get much recognition, but your compassion, the time that you spend, the commitment that you have to helping them, we feel like it's only a part of what we can do to help you help them. So God bless you all, and thank you so much for supporting Nick's Kids. Roll Tide. Thank you.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by
Coach, every year you talk about the importance, yes, of continuity in terms of what you do, but it's also important to get a fresh message with some new coaches, and you've got that. You've got some new faces, even though your coordinators are the same.
Right, I think it's really important to have continuity with the coordinators because they're the leaders of that side of the ball. But we have made some really positive additions to the staff. New offensive line coach, Wolf has been really, really good. Really good relationships with players. I think fundamentally they've made some improvement. Joe Cox is a tight end coach who's a fine young coach who's done a good job in that area. T-Rob with the DBs. Coleman Hutzler is new special teams coach, which I think that was an area that we slipped in a little bit last year that hopefully we'll be able to, make positive strides in this year. He's got a lot of enthusiasm and has done a really good job with the players. So I'm really, really pleased with the additions that were made as well as the continuity we were able to keep.
Your coordinators had a chance to visit with the media preseason. Let's hear their thoughts on the upcoming 2022 campaign.
Obviously excited to see you guys again. Don't get to do this a lot, so every time we get to do this, it's normally the start of something and the end of something. And so, our guys, obviously, I've been working extremely hard this summer. I think what's a little different about college football now, those 2 hours you get with them in the summer in June and July are huge going into camp. So, I think this is the first year since I've been here, and this is year 5 for me. I think we got leadership at every level of the defense. We've got old guys, obviously, up front, and DJ Dale and the Boy Bees and Byron Youngs that understand the system, understand the expectation, and providing leadership in that group. Obviously, you got Henry back in the inside room after a year experience in our system in the process here. You got Moody that's been here, obviously, year 5, that's got some game experience, but more importantly, knows the expectation and is hungry to try to earn that starting position.
Morning, everybody. Like I said before, very excited to be here going into my second season. This has proven to be, a very special place to coach. Obviously, the coaching staff, led by Coach Saban, the players here, the support staff, everything is top notch. So it's really been a great experience for me over the last year and a half. Offensively, obviously we have a lot to replace from last year. When you think about the guys that aren't here anymore, that are, some of those guys are on to the NFL. But obviously with Bryce back, that is a very good thing. We have an excellent quarterback, but when you lose guys like Evan Neal and you lose guys like Jamison Williams and John Mechie, you have to find out who can replace those guys, and it's very early in camp, and we're finding that out.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Coach, what's next is the opener, and it's understandable fans may be looking to week 2, but this Utah State squad that you'll get in week 1 is a very good squad.
Well, they're a 10-win team. They won a bowl game against Oregon State last year. They've got a lot of good returning players. I think 7 starters on both sides of the ball. The quarterback is really a good player. Their offense is a little bit like the spread, maybe reminds you a little bit of Tennessee in terms of how they operate. Maybe a little bit like Mississippi State, but more balanced in terms of run pass. Defensively, they've got a really good scheme, play hard, physical. So they beat a couple, Pac-12 teams last year, and they're a very, very good football team, and I think will be a good test for us to find out exactly where we are and where we need to go to improve for the rest of the season.
Coach, always appreciate the time. Best of luck this season. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Trustmark, people you trust, advice that works.